All right, welcome back in. And usually where it starts is in the extremities. Fingertips are frozen.
Yep.
Toes are necks. So hopefully we can wrap it up and get a little warmth. But here we are in the elements and playing in some snow. And it's hard not to talk about snow without talking about a guy that you're very familiar with from Florida State who loves playing in the snow.
Man,
right?
How fun was that watching him do snow angels the other day after that game with the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, it was
Love
fun
that
watching
guy.
him do it. You know,
Yeah.
I think
I'm gonna make you do some snow angels later.
we'll talk about it. We'll
It'll
talk
be
about it.
okay.
It's up for negotiation.
It'll
but
be all right, I
let's talk
promise.
about the elements here
Yep.
today. Yeah.
Well, it's still snowing. Newsflash, if
Yeah.
anyone can't see that. And, of course, we knew it was going to probably snow today. It's not going to snow, hopefully, fingers crossed, at game time at 2:30. But this is different. I mean, DJ, I don't remember a game where we had snow like this. There was a couple years ago where it snowed before that LSU game, and they were blowing the field at Arkansas with the water and getting off it all on pellets. And so that's probably the closest we've been to having elements like this. Talon Green, who came from Boise State, and I know Evan talked about it at the beginning of the show, was asked if he's ever played in the snow. He said he did. He played in the snow against Nevada. He played in -1-degree weather against Wyoming. So he's kind of used to these elements being out on the West Coast before he came to Arkansas. And so maybe he can inspire his teammates a little bit to embrace the elements today.
Yeah, you got to embrace them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played in a few snow practices, but I've never played in a snow game. So I'm excited for that. It'll be a new experience for me. But, football's football at the end of the day.
It's just going to be another thing of adversity that we got to deal with. It's not a bad thing. Me personally, I'm going to have fun in it. After we win, I'm going to roll around and make snow angels.
All ball players eventually want to play in the snow. It's just one game, so it'll probably be a good blessing and a good environment to play in, just to embrace it.
I would say warm yourself up on the sidelines, and when you're in the game, you're not really thinking about it. But on the sidelines, warm your feet up, warm your hands up, and and lock in when you get on the field. So it's never as cold as it seems. That's why I would say it's all mental.
Talon, it's always as cold as it seems. Cold as a mentality is not a thing. It is cold. It is snowing, and these northern boys that we have on our staff have been making fun of us all morning.
Yeah, what type of snow are we dealing with here today, okay?
Light dusting, it's just getting going a little bit. Hopefully it starts coming down more. I think we're in all agreement, right? But yeah, it's going to be fun to see how they handle it, and hopefully something in terms of it's sticking on the ground. That's what I'm hoping for. We get that. I hope it doesn't all melt away come game time.
Yeah, I don't want a
I hope it
slushy mess, but Evan, this is a little crazy.
Actually, this is very tame from what Jacob and I are used to. As my old high school TV teacher used to say, cold is a state of mind. And what I'm really curious about is that I'll pick up some snow and try to pack it into my hand, is how well it's going to kind of stick together. And we talk about kind of using snowballs, and that'll give you a sense of what it's going to be actually on the field. If the snow is kind of sticking, like, I can't really make a snowball right now, that's not looking too good, at least for when it comes to being able to run on it. It'll be a lot more slippery than you'd probably think it would be. But if you're able to pack down the snow, you could get some better footing on it, but again, we'll see how the field does. Usually a lot of the crews are really good around the country, and they're able to get most of the snow off the field. If it's like this during the game, you won't have that, but it just depends on the packing level of the snow. If you can pack the snow better, it's going to be better for traction on the field. If you can't, everyone's going to be sliding during this game.
Bringing us some science.
Yeah,
to
well,
back up
and
these
then the
things.
impact of how it'll affect these receivers. The colder it gets, that ball's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard, and depending on how well they protect the ball, I'm talking about from sideline guy to referee to center. Center has to make sure it stays dry before it gets to the quarterback, because anything that is moisture will be on that ball will be slick for a quarterback who's not used to playing in the element. So
it's interesting you bring that up, because Addison and Talon both talked this week about practicing with wet balls and what that is going to be like to try to have that connection between the two of them getting the ball from one hand to the other.
Yeah, and that's just big, because quarterbacks, it's all about grip on the ball, and if you have any type of thing that affects their grip, it's going to be difficult. And then receivers, y'all just get your mind right. It's going to hurt when you catch it, all right? I got time for no softness, no body catches. Just use the hands to say, every time you catch it. It's going to hurt, but it'll be worth it.
Is that what you did in Green Bay?
Oh, yeah.
Are those your tips and tricks?
Yeah, like in practice, you're like, don't throw me the ball. I don't want to catch it. It's like throwing bricks. In the game, throw it my way. Practice, we're good. Yeah, just visualize it, all right? But no, it is tough. So it'll be a fun day here today, more so for the players. And like you said, those guys are going to be running around, probably not as cold for them.
Cam said he's going to embrace it.
Who is that?
Cam Ball's going to do something crazy.
Okay.
He'll build a snowman on the sideline.
I'd rather him get some more sacks. That'll be crazy. Let's start with that. We're about